Welcome to Satisfactory, the factory building game of your dreams. In this video, I'll be explaining the basics and rules of Satisfactory, maybe even a few tips and tricks, so don't fall asleep. Satisfactory includes a large open-world experience, where you'll need to fill with factories in order to progress in the game. Which, naturally, in a factory building game, you need room to build said factory. You can't just put a factory setup anywhere either. Here, let's play a game. Is this a good place to build, or is it not? If you chose good, you would be 100% correctly wrong. There are multiple objects in the way, which will be a pain to get around and a hassle to remove. How about now? If you said it was right, then you will be completely wrongfully accused of being wrong, but instead you were right. Factories built in a bad location could lead your factory looking like... My eyes hurt already, and I'm even closing them. This is a good example of a factory being in the wrong location. And now look at this! Nicely organized, neatly compact, and a bit stylish too. This is a great example of a factory being in the right location. Speaking of factories, that's another thing you get to pick in this game. Now, while it is easy to just leave your factory all over the ground, these factories tend to be unappealing. But don't worry, that's why foundations exist. Start with a foundation. It doesn't have to look pretty yet, but just wait. Next, build the factory on top. Make modifications if necessary, then add decoration, and then you're done! Side note, if you are just starting out in a brand new world of Satisfactory, just ignore the step until you get better gear. Making your factories look nice doesn't increase production or efficiency, but it just keeps your soul happy. And trust me, you don't want to be in a situation where you must clean up multiple hours of factories after building them the first time. Now, you're probably saying, now Lincoln, with all these fancy factory thingies, don't they all need high levels of energy to run? And to that I say... yes. Like you theoretically asked, yes, the machines need power, and lots of it. Power management is one of the hardest parts of building a factory, besides building the factory. Now, a small factory may only ever need one biomass burner, a machine that turns leaves into power. But that one biomass burner won't take you far. Only using one biomass burner, with no modifications, can only run up to 7 constructors constantly. And that's without ore mining or smelting of the materials. One factory, making iron rods, takes a total of 8 megawatts to run by itself. It doesn't seem like much, but it all adds up quickly. Now, as you progress in the game, you'll unlock better power alternatives. However, this comes at a cost of complexity and resource requirement. Now, about resources. Of course you need to mine a lot of materials to make these machines. That's easy. But automating construction requires a lot of materials every second. So naturally, you'll need conveyor belts to deliver these materials. However, just routing belts all over the place isn't a great solution. Now, while you'll make an Italian happy, you won't make this Canadian pleased at all. Satisfactory includes a pretty neat straight and curved mode on these belts. So if you use them in correlation with each other, you'll get this. Much better, huh? Keeping your factories looking spick and span is just a nice thing to do, and given the results, it just keeps you from having a heart attack just from trying to count one belt. Now, this introduction video is coming to an end, but there's still little things I need to talk about. Number 1. Logistics. Satisfactory has multiple different logic sorters, such as the splitter, merger, and lifts. You can use these to help organize your factories and keep them efficient. Number 2. The calculator. And yes, you'll need it. Say you want to have your factory to be the most efficient it can be. That would mean the belts would have to be constantly moving without running out or stopping. Each constructor shows you what inputs needed and output given. In fact, all machines that produce or consume something have these numbers in their correlating spots. So, if your miner mines 60 iron ore per second, then you'll need to figure out how many constructors you'll need to supply this demand. If your constructor needs 15 ingots per second, you'll need to multiply 15 up by 1 until you hit 60. In this example, you'll need 4. Number 3. Wrapping up. Most of what I talked about was if you were using mainly low-level equipment. However, these problems still persist, even in end-game factories, so don't let your guard down. So hopefully, you haven't fallen asleep in this video. Congrats if you didn't. And I hope you enjoyed this cool little video for your satisfying, satisfactory successes. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you at Fix It.